Welcome back, everyone. So today I'm going to be going over some muscles for you, and we are going to have to do a little bit of a dissection, especially when we're doing the leg down here. So that's where I'm going to start first because that's going to take most of the time. So you only have one leg left as you cut the other one off, so that is where we're going to start. And we're actually going to start on the inside of the leg. And we're going to start with what we call the quadriceps. So this first part that I'm actually going to work on, we have this muscle that kind of covers the quadriceps themselves. It's called the sartorius. And you're probably going to have to peel off a lot of this fascia that's kind of on top to actually get to the muscle, so that's okay. And really, I'm not going to use a scalpel during this dissection because I want to try and preserve and not cut any of the muscles. So you really should be doing a lot of just mostly blunt dissection for this first part. And I can kind of start to get my finger under this muscle that's on the outside here. And also when I'm doing this, I want to try and preserve our blood vessels here, because we are going to be doing blood vessels in a few weeks, so I want to keep these that are down here in the leg. Okay, so here I can kind of start to pull this sartorius muscle up, and I'm just going to cut it off kind of up here at the patella. Just going to kind of clean all this fascia up, and I should just be able to kind of peel this muscle back. And then on the back side, since we've already peeled back this biceps femoris to get to the sciatic nerve, it won't be too hard to get this sartorius off. So once again, I'm just going to kind of cut it up here at the top. And then I can just kind of peel this back just like this. So once again, this is what we call the sartorius. In people, it's much, much smaller. It's much thinner. Okay, so next what we're going to do is, and the sartorius, what this is for, it's for adducting, so it's what's going to bring our knees together. It's important that you guys know what each one of these muscles do, whether it's extending or adducting or abducting or flexing. So I'm going to try to tell you when we go through the muscles what each one of them do. So sartorius is an adducting muscle. And then what we're going to do is go through, so now we actually do the quadriceps. So quad means four, so we have three vastus muscles. So we have the vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, and the vastus intermedius. And then the rectus femoris is the fourth muscle that makes up the quadriceps. So even though the sartorius is a part of the quadriceps, it's not a part of the four muscles. So really there's five, but we can only go with four. Okay, so once again, I'm going to try to just do blunt dissection to kind of peel apart these vastuses. And you guys should be able to see kind of where these muscles connect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right here by the patella. And I'm actually going to peel back the rectus femoris first. So I kind of took my scissors and kind of took along this and cleaned up kind of some of this, once again, this fascia. This fascia, what I'm really talking about, is called the epimysium, and that's a part of the layers of the muscle. So, like I said, firstly, I'm peeling back this rectus femoris and trying not to peel off the lateralis along with it. So really, all these muscles attach at the patella up here. They go into the patella. So I'm kind of cutting them up here at and then I'm going to peel them back, really. That way I can kind of make sure that I get all of them. Okay, so here I know is my femur. Okay. So now I can more or less see the different muscles that I have here. So kind of peel these guys apart a little bit so that you can see a little bit better the different muscles here. So I have the vastus lateralis, lateral meaning towards the outside. I have the rectus femoris, which is kind of this round muscle. It also, rectus means straight. And then I have the vastus medialis, so vastus meaning inside, this muscle right here. And then I have the vastus intermedius, which is this muscle right here that's underneath, so it lays underneath this rectus femoris, this one right here. So I have lateralis, vastus intermedius, and the vastus medialis. And then we have the rectus femoris, which is the fourth one that creates that quadricep. And once again, these all attach up here at the patella. And what all four of them do is it extends that knee. Okay, then the next one, what we're going to do, I'm actually going to kind of clean this up. We're going to get into a little bit more of the hamstring muscles here. And so really this top one that I'm going to peel back, it's called the gracilis, and I'm not going to make you guys know that one, but just kind of like the sartorius, it kind of lays on top. I'm going to kind of do a blunt dissection again. And you should just be able to kind of see how this muscle lays on top right here, and I'm going to try to get my fingers under it so that I can peel it back just like we did the sartorius. So just kind of peel that back, and then I should be able to see two defined muscles right here, these two muscles. And what these are I have the semitendinosus, which is this bottom one, and then I have the semimembranosus, which is this one. And you can kind of tell those two apart because the semimembranosus is always more medial than the tendinosus. And this is, once again, on the medial side. The lateral side, remember we talked about the sciatic sitting in between the biceps femoris muscle and the semitendinosus. So once we just flip them, we have the semitendinosus once again, semimembranosus, which is more medial. Okay, then once again we have the biceps femoris on the outside. Bicep meaning it has two heads. And then I'm going to move down a little bit more to the calf muscle. That's what we call our calf muscle. And I'm going to, once again, kind of peel a little bit of this back. And kind of peel, once again, this fascia back. Peel it off. Okay. And the big muscle that you guys have right here, that our cats have, kind of see this. this big muscle right here, this is what we call the gastrocnemius. And then peel it over a little bit cleaner on this side too. You can see the big muscle on the inside, this gastrocnemius. Okay, so then we're going to go to the outside of this leg. I'm going to kind of peel, use my scissors, do a bit more blunt dissection. And I'm going to find our next muscle, which is called the soleus. And what the soleus does is it extends our ankle. Once again, here we have our gastrocnemius. I kind of peeled that back. Then on the inside of this right here, that's that soleus muscle. And then also, if you guys did a good job cutting off your other leg, you should be able to come in here and look at this and be able to identify the different muscles through this cross section. So once again, I find my femur, okay, right here. And I can see that I have my rectus femoris, which is kind of this big round one. I have here's a big biceps femoris right here on the outside. Rectus femoris, kind of this straight round one. I have, separate these a little bit more. Okay, my medialis, which is right here, lateralis, and then the intermedius, which is this one right here. So you should be able to identify those. And then once again, I have my, pull back the gracilis. On this side, you should be able to find the tendinosus on the bottom and the semimembranosus more medial. So those right there. Okay, so then I'm going to kind of move up my cat a little bit. And hopefully, if you guys did a good enough job skinning your cat, you should be able to see the different striations in the muscles. So I have my rectus abdominis, which of course would all be if we have a really nice six-pack. We have our, or if you have a keg, either one. You have your rectus abdominis or ab muscles right here. And then I should be able to look on this side and see the obliques. So you should be able to see the different kind of striations in the muscles. So once again, we have our obliques over here on the side. And these are really for that twisting motion. That's what those muscles are used for. Then moving up, we have the ascending pectoralis. And then I kind of don't have my, here, I can use this a little bit. Then we have the pectoralis major, which is what we call our pecs on us, is up here, which I kind of cut mine off a little bit when I was doing the nerve dissection, so that's okay. So ascending pectoralis, pectoralis major up here. Then go to either arm, we have biceps brachii. So it's really important that you guys know biceps brachii and the biceps femoris. So you have to really know the difference between those, and make sure when you write them down on your answer key, you don't just write biceps. And then on the bottom of the arm, the triceps brachii, meaning triceps, we have 3 different heads. And then latissimus dorsi, so that's these muscles right under here. Okay, and then we have, don't get this confused with our longissimus dorsi, which are the muscles that run right along your spine and are really helpful for posture. The lats or latissimus dorsi, we use those for as an abducting muscle. So abducting this way, bring it towards. Okay. And then we have the trapezius, which is up here kind of on top of the shoulder. So this big trapezius muscle meaning triangle. And what this for is it elevates our shoulders. So it's bringing our shoulders upwards. Okay, and then I might be able to see if I do a good enough job here. If I can cut back my trapezius just a little bit, I might be able to kind of clean this up. You'll be able to see the actual deltoids muscle. It's over here. So that's this muscle that really goes right over the top of the shoulder. Okay, so we have our deltoids go over the shoulder. And then we'll talk a little bit about more the ones that are in the face. So we have the masseter muscle, which is up here in our cheek. And then we have that temporal that's up also here in the face. And really what these are doing is that they're clenching the jaw. So our big dog breeds like pit bulls and things like that, you can really see the muscles in their face. That's what gives them that extra bite force. And then finally we have the sternomastoid, and what that one does is it connects actually to the sternum. And what this does is it opens the jaw, really weak muscle. That's why we're able to actually hold the alligator's mouth shut with just our hands, and they aren't able to open them back up because of that muscle is so weak. So I believe that is all the muscles that we are going to go over. If you have any questions, bring them to lab with you, and we will go over that then. Thanks, guys.